It is time to dominate the meta with ShineGreymon alongside with Marcus Damon so we can punch for game. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the full power updated version of the ShineGreymon Burst Mode deck. With support from EX4 Alternative Being and BT13 versus Royal Knights, the archetype has now reached its maximum power level. ShineGreymon is one of the most hyped decks and probably one of the strongest decks of the BT13 meta. It is ultra consistent at playing Marcuses for free, and you can use them to attack for aggro plays and control the board at the same time with DP reduction abilities. I'll be showing you guys all the cool combos that you can pull off with this deck, so let's just get right into the deck profile. Alright, starting off with Digi-Egg cards, we've got 4 copies of the BT5 Koromon for when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Greymon in its name, you get to draw 1 card. Draw power is still what I like to prioritize, just to find more pieces, grab more things, and so that we can make more combo plays. And again, you know, going for that is just really important, and that is why, of course, we are playing the red base in this particular deck. So as we move along into our rookies, 4 copies of the BT12 Agumon is still super crucial because on play, it can reveal top 4 cards of your deck, searching for yourself a Greymon and a Marcus Tamer essentially, and getting those 2 hits is always ultra value for you. Being able to Digivolve for 0 specifically on top of Koromon is really what you need as well. And with its inheritable of your turn once returned, when one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended, you can minus 2000 DP to your opponent's Digimon so they can go for the control, delete things potentially, or weaken things so you can swing over things and whatnot. Just a super good and versatile card overall for the entire deck. If you are a fan of the Digimon Data Squad show and want to see me cover more new Burst Mode related decks, then be sure to subscribe. Turn on that notification bell right now to stay tuned. All the new deck profiles featuring Mirage Galgamon, Ravemon, and Rosemon, which I'm super excited to be showing you guys, will be coming very soon. I actually already posted a bunch of those deck lists on the Avault Club membership tab, so if you want to see them, join the Avault Club right now by clicking on the join button or in the link in the top right iCard. Also give this video a like while you're at it, and I greatly appreciate the support from all of you. Then we got 3 copies of the brand new BT13 Agumon here. Also Digivolving for 0 on top of Koromon specifically, so we're always going to be Digivolving for 0 instead of having to pay 1 memory to Digivolve. And it has a main effect of once returned, letting you turn one of your Marcus Damons into a 3000 DP Digimon that cannot Digivolve, so you can use it to basically attack. Super helpful, really good, and that's basically how crucial it is, so that because not all your Marcuses can actually transform into a Digimon this time around, because with the newer ones, we'll get more into detail and show you guys how it all works when it comes to the combo segment. Also, with its inheritable your turn once returned, when one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended, you also get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So combos very nicely with your DP reduction effect, so you can lower things to a sweet number, and then when they get to that 3000 or lower number, you can use these kind of effects to combo side to delete things. Again, really, really good and really helpful for sure. Next, we got 3 copies of the EX4 Agumon. Once again, we're always going to be Digivolving it for 0 on top of Koromon, specifically with its black box text. This one is a starter main phase effect. If you have a red or yellow Tamer, you get to gain a memory. And it's just also really good with this particular Agumon, because then with some of your Marcuses, you can pay 1 memory. So essentially, you don't pay anything to bring out that Marcus to, you know, go for the punches and whatever you need. And with its inheritable as your turn once returned, when one of your red or yellow Tamers are suspended, you get to draw 1 card. So, you know, draw power is always going to be really nice. Then to round off for all of our Agumons, this is the very specific reason why I'm playing the red base as well, is because I like to play 3 copies of the Agumon X. Mainly, we want to be Digivolving it for 0 on top of another Agumon, so we can use this when Digivolving or when on play effect to basically draw 1 more card for Digivolving, and then using its when Digivolving effect to synergize the review top 3, searching for ourselves or a Greymon in particular. But we don't play X antibody option in this particular deck, so we can't get to search that, which is totally fine. More searching, more stacking is just always really nice. So keep in mind, guys, this is just one of the reasons why I really like the red base in particular. That's it for all of our rookies. Let's talk about our level 4s now. 4 copies of the brand new BT13 Greymon. It Digivolves for 3 on top of a yellow or a red level 3, but we're always going to be Digivolving it for 2 costs on top of Agumon and its name and Dinosaur and trait. All the Agumons that we play are specifically used to synergize with the entire Marcus whole line and the archetype, so we are going to be Digivolving it for 2, and they all have Dinosaur in their trait. Therefore, when Digivolving, we get to search our security stack, get to play a red or yellow Tamer for free, and then recover one afterwards. Being able to play Marcuses again for free is just super crucial for this deck, and being able to consistently do that is just super nice. Being able to access a completely different realm of resources, which no other color actually has with yellow, is just what makes this card so good. Then it has the inheritable of your turn once returned. When one of your red or yellow Tamers becomes suspended, just like the other BT13 Agumon we saw earlier, we get to delete one of our opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. So yeah, again, really crucial, really nice to get rid of smaller things, is always really good. Then we have 3 copies of the EX4 Shinegreymon. Again, with its black box test, we get to Digivolve for 2 on top of a Agumon and its name with Dinosaur, mainly what we're going to be doing. Start of main phase, if you have a red or yellow Tamer in play, you get to gain a memory. Very similar effect, essentially the same as the EX4 Agumon that we saw earlier. And then with its inheritable of your turn once returned, you get to draw one if one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended. So very, very simple, and just always just a nice one to have for sure. And then to wrap it all off, 3 copies of the BT12 Shinegreymon, again, Digivolving for 2 on top of Agumon Dinosaur. And then when Digivolving, if we don't have a Marcus Daemon in play, we get to play one Marcus Daemon for free. And that's just really, really nice, because that's another way, another method to play more Marcuses for free. And that's what we're always trying to go for, particularly. And with its inheritable, your turn once returned, when one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended, minus 2000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. So DP reduction effects are definitely always very valued when it comes to control. That's it for our level 4s. Let's talk about level 5s. 4 copies of the brand new BT13 ShineGreymon. This card is just absolutely insane. Again, looking towards the black box text, we're going to just be Digivolving it for 3 on top of a Shinegreymon. All of our level 4s are Shinegreymons, so we're always going to be paying 3 memory instead of the 4. When Digivolving, you get to play one Marcus Daemon from your hand without paying the memory cost. No caveats, no other requirements whatsoever, instantly for free. All turns once returned, when one of your red or yellow Tamers is deleted, you get to place one Marcus Daemon from your trash to the top of your security face down. This effect may be very familiar, but we'll actually get to see more of it later on as well. And then with its inheritable, it does exactly the same thing as its secondary effect as well, letting you basically recover your Marcuses whenever your Tamers are basically deleted. So really good, again, to help you keep yourself in the game, keeping yourself accessing your Marcuses over and over again, and making it difficult for your opponents to play against is really what this card is all about. And then we have the 2 copies of the BT12 ShineGreymon as well. Very similar to the new ShineGreymon. Digivolving for 3 for Shinegreymon. For this one in particular, when you Digivolve, if you have a yellow or red Tamer in play, you get to gain a memory back. So by having a Marcus prior to this, we get to gain the memory. So effectively, this becomes a 2-cost Digivolve instead of the 3 or even 4, which makes it very memory efficient. And its secondary effect and its inheritable effect is exactly the same as the ShineGreymon from BT13, letting you cycle back your Marcuses whenever your Tamers are deleted. So that's just always really crucial and really nice when it comes to, going for the combos with your deck. Therefore, 2 copies is really all you need. Last but not least, to round off for all the level 5s, still playing the 2 copies of Shinegreymon. Digivolving for 1 specifically on top of ShineGreymon is what we were trying to do, and otherwise you have to Digivolve for 4 costs on top of a level 4, which is quite a lot of memory to pay. However, when Digivolving, it lets you play a red or yellow Tamer for free. Then, if you have a ShineGreymon or X antibody in this Digivolution stack, you get to minus 2000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon for every red or yellow Tamer you have on your board. So again, DP reduction, removing things. And it also has the last effect of your turn for each Tamer you have in play. It gets extra 1000 DP. Kind of like a pseudo boss Digimon. Can beef up pretty strongly as well with this particular guy, so that you can make some swings if you ever really want to as well. And yeah, that's really it when it comes to ShineGreymon X. That's it for all of our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s. Of course, I've been hyping this guy up already for quite a while since BT12. You definitely need to be playing the 4 copies of the BT12 ShineGreymon. Digivolving for 3 specifically with its black rock text on top of any ShineGreymon in its name. So like you guys can see, all of our level 5s are ShineGreymons, and this is your main powerhouse Digimon of the deck that you always want to be seeing as frequently as possible, because when Digivolving, for each yellow and or red Tamer you have in play, one of your opponent's Digimon and all your opponent's security Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. More Tamers you have, the better it is, better value. This is just super crucial. Again, comboing and synergizing a lot with your Marcuses, which we'll show you guys more later on. And it also has a secondary effect, which also helps out a lot, where giving all your Marcuses Daemon extra 3000 DP and security +1 during your turn, so that you can play super aggro alongside with the ShineGreymon. And just, yeah, really, really cool, powerful card that you want to be seeing as often as you can for the aggro plays. And again, can't wait to show you guys the combos later on. Then for the new ShineGreymon right here, we got 2 copies of the BT13 one to talk about. Really nice addition, just another newer Shine Grade I can get into consistently and very great synergy once again. Digivolving for 3 on top of Rise Greymon specifically with this black box text. Start your main phase, and when digivolving, not once per turn until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Marcus Daemons is also treated as a 3000 Digimon that cannot digivolve but also gains blocker. So this is really good for defensive strategies if you ever need to, if you need to block, but rarely actually, I find myself not having to block all the time. Just being able to transform my Marcus into a Digimon and then using it to attack is just also just great synergy, because there are some Marcuses that we play can't transform themselves. Anyways, it has a secondary effect of all turns once per turn. When one of your red or yellow tamer becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP for the turn. Keep in mind, this is all turns, so you can potentially combo and synergize with your Marcus, and when you block, you get to actually disrupt your opponent by, reducing their Digimon's DP by 6,000, so you can potentially move things, make things stronger, or whatever you need to do is really crucial and makes really come in clutch when it comes to those kind of plays. However, overall, this is the secondary shine grade that we want to be seeing mainly. Therefore, we don't need to see it as often as we really want to compared to the BT12 one, in my personal opinion. That's it for level 6s. Now let's showcase the level 7s, where we have the 2 copies of ShineGreymon Burst Mode. Now, some of you guys might want to be playing 3 just for even more consistency's sake, just because seeing this card is actually game-ending, game-changing, and helps you close games super quickly. It does cost 5 to Digivolve on top of level 6, yellow or red. However, you can Burst Digivolve, and by Burst Digivolving, all you have to do is to Digivolve on top of ShineGreymon specifically and return a Marcus Daemon that you have back to your hand. It can be any Marcus Daemon essentially. Now, however, with Burst Digivolving, as you guys know, this card gets trashed at the end of the turn, so then it will evolve back into a regular ShineGreymon that you had underneath to begin with. Anyways, when Digivolving, it lets you play a Marcus Daemon from your hand for free. So returning it and then being able to play one for free back is actually ultra value for you. And the tamer being played by this effect will be treated as a 12k Digimon, but can't Digivolve and gains Rush, so you can immediately use Marcus to swing once more with this card, which is super good. And then it has a secondary effect of your turn once per turn. When one of your tamers becomes suspended, you simply trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So your Marcus can actually almost basically punch for game with this really cool combo. Again, can't wait to show you guys later, but yeah, really nice card. I'm just super excited and super happy that this came in, and how strong and how powerful you can actually go with some crazy stuff in this deck. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's talk about our tamers. Let's talk about the brand new Marcus first. We got 4 copies of the BT13 Marcus right here for 5 memory costs, which is quite a lot. At the start of your main phase, it is your memory tamer setting you to 3. Now on play, you get to suspend this tamer. So really optional right there. Now all turns, when this tamer becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. Then if you have a Digimon with Agumon and Greymon in its name, it gets to gain a memory back right here. So then you're actually giving yourself a lot of value, even though if it's a 5-cost tamer and having to pay that memory to play it. However, as you guys can see, there's so many cards that lets us play this particular Marcus Daemon for free, and that's where the ultra hyper value really comes in with this particular deck. And you do want to be seeing this Marcus as much as possible, just because of how good it really is. And yeah, one of the best Marcuses again for the game and for the deck entirely. Then we get to talk about the order one. We got the 4 copies of the other Marcus Daemon back from BT12. This one's not a memory tamer, but at the start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name, by paying 1 memory for the turn, this tamer is also treated as a 3000 DP that can't Digivolve, so they can use it to attack. You guys know what this guy does. This guy can just come out himself and just go for the punch. And then it has a secondary effect of your turn. When this tamer becomes suspended, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow card with Greymon in its name from your hand for free. This is so good and so crucial. Being able to Digivolve strictly for free helps you climb all the way up to your Digivolution stack so fast that people just don't see it coming. Not only that, again, I can't wait to show you guys the combos later on, which we did cover a bit of it from last time, but again, yeah, there's some newer ones that you can just do with this card. It's just super nice. That's it for all of our tamers, as the 8 Marcuses is all we really need. Let's get into the options. Just one removal type option, Sunrise Buster right here. You guys can change this up based on your own personal preference or whatever you like per se, because with just the 5 memory cost, you get to play 1 yellow or red tamer from your hand for free, and then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn for every yellow and red tamer you have in play. So they can really great for removal, great security bomb. You guys know the reason why this card is restricted down to 1, just because of how good it is. We have a lot of ways to cheat out Marcuses already, and being able to cheat out another Marcus and minus DP to our opponents is just a bit too good, obviously. So anyways, this is why you have to include it as a one-off, in my personal opinion. Last but not least, just a round off for more consistency in searching. Red 2 copies of Red Memory Boost, helping you find more pieces to build your stack again, find your combos, delay gaining memory so you can make more combo plays, which is always going to be super nice. And yeah, very standard from there anyways. That's it for the 50 card main deck. Now let's show you guys all the other cool tech cards you can actually be playing, as well as the potential yellow base if you're trying to go for that instead. But first and foremost, let's just talk about the generic cards you can actually just straight and splash in. First and foremost, if you guys don't feel like you have enough level 7s and want to play more level 7s, ShineGreymon Ruin Mode is actually a really good defensive card for the deck. It digivolves for 4 specifically on top of ShineGreymon, otherwise you have to digivolve for 5 cost on top of the yellow level 6 Digimon, which is not as ideal. However, with its when digivolving and on deletion effect, which is not once per turn, until the end of your opponent's turn, all your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP, which is a blanket effect. Yeah, you guys just know how powerful and defensive this card really is. As defensive as it is, it can actually help you stall out the games and win games with this card single-handedly, which definitely comes in clutch. With its secondary effect of end of attack, you delete this Digimon and one of your opponent's Digimon, so you get to trade and you get to recover one and hatch an egg. It's just really good. This, after all, is a ShineGreymon deck, so playing Ruin Mode definitely suits this deck very nicely if you ever want to go into as a different kind of level 7 based on your own personal playstyle. Then we have one final Shining Burst. I initially played this instead of Sunrise Buster, just because I felt like paying 8 memory is not too bad, being able to play a Marcus for free and then minus something for 12,000 DP, and then if you potentially play the new 5 cost Marcus from BT13, you can actually use it to suspend it to minus another 3k to that same Digimon, effectively removing something that is like 15,000 DP in total, which is really good. However, overall, I feel like Sunrise Buster is still a better card anyways, over just full play testing, but definitely I still think, this is a decent one-off that you can definitely add in if you ever want to. Okay, so that's it for all the other tech cards. Let's talk about yellow base specifically. Of course, if you're playing a yellow base, you want to be playing the BT12 Koromon, just because it has the inheritable your turn once per turn. When one of your yellow or red tamers becomes suspended, you can minus 1,000 DP. A lot of control aspects when it comes to that as well. We also have the older BT2 Agumon right here. This BT2 Agumon wouldn't be as necessary just because you have a lot more different Agumons to work with now. You have got the BT12 one, you got the EX4, and you got the BT13, so you don't have to actually play this one, but just this one is just another extra additional suggestion right here. When attacking, if you have 3 or more yellow tamers in play, you get to trigger draw 1. Kind of unlikely, just because your Marcuses, you rarely would have 3. You'd probably be sitting at 2 in most cases in the game. But anyways, if you guys plan to play more tamers than that for a completely different build, definitely works out nicely. Another actually even better one is actually Kudamon right here from BT13. This one on play searches, revealing top 3 cards of your deck, adding 1 yellow Digimon card with Vaccinus trait and 1 yellow tamer among them, and actually a lot of your cards inside the deck, even when it comes to the yellow base build of ShineGreymon, you can actually hit those cards very, very efficiently and effectively. It has the inheritable of when attacking once per turn, if there's 6 or fewer total cards in both player security, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. So again, a lot of DP reduction effects, which is always going to come in very nicely and handy. Then for another ShineGreymon you guys can be actually playing, you guys can bring back the OG BT2 Yellow ShineGrey. Now it does specifically digivolve for 4 on top of a yellow level 5, and when digivolving you suspend all of your yellow tamers, and then you get to use the following effect of one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for every basically tamer you suspend. Really great for whiteboard control. Again, if you're playing a lot of more other additional tamers in the yellow base build, this one is definitely going to pay off a lot more for you guys. Also, with its last effect is that your turn this Digimon gets extra 1,000 DP for each tamer you have in play. No color restriction for this one whatsoever. So yeah, definitely really good for control side of things. And speaking of other more tamers, if you want to play another yellow tamer, TK is just a great one. Memory tamer for 4 costs. You can search your security stack, grab pieces that you need once again, which are going to be super crucial. A lot of your cards are going to be both red and yellow, so most of them being yellow as well, you can effectively hit anything you want. And yeah, always just a really great card. And again, if you're playing yellow base, Reinforcing Memory Boost is definitely a recommended one. For 6 costs, you guys know how much value that this card provides. Being able to set up your security, add a card from your hand, basically, and delay gaining 3 memory is a lot to pay off. And again, this card is restricted down to 1, which is why it's that powerful and so strong. And last but not least, of course, if you're playing yellow base, instead of playing red memory boost, go for yellow memory boost instead, because it just makes more sense and has synergy. And particularly, another side note I would like to mention is that ShineGreymon Ruin Mode specifically is purple and yellow. Therefore, your searching consistency for the red base isn't as consistent for Ruin Mode. Therefore, this one with yellow memory boost, you can actually grab yourself Ruin Mode. So that's kind of nice there too. That's it for all the cards I wanted to talk about. Now let's show you guys the how to play and all the combos that you can actually be doing with this brand new full power version of the ShineGreymon deck. It's actually very straightforward. With the red base,
you're ideally just trying to Digivolve into your stack. That's all you really need to do. Of course, early stages of the games, this is the Agumon you ideally want to hard play at the most, just because it give you a lot of effective searching hit targets. Because then otherwise, both these guys right here, you can Digivolve into these or the other one and whatnot. That's when you want to be seeing with your hand and your mulligans. When your mulligans, you want to be able to see your Digivolution line, level 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s, and so on. And ideally, you do want to be seeing at least one of the Marcuses in your hand, and that's what you're going to go for in your opening hand to see a optimal play. Of course, play your red memory boost for searching. These are very standard things that you're always going to be doing for sure. And as soon as you go to your level 4, this is when you get to think about and sort of decide if you want to push out or not. Sometimes Digivolving at the battle area gives you a lot of value because you get a lot of when Digivolving effects that you want to go for. But before we get into that, there's also this Agumon X antibody. A lot of you guys might be thinking, oh, Digivolve right here to cycle for an extra card. Keep in mind, guys, this isn't a Wargreymon or Black Wargreymon base deck, therefore stacking multiple same level Digivolutions in your stack doesn't make too much sense. You actually rather hard play this so then you can grab yourself more searching capability instead of just Digivolving and cycling, unless you feel like you really have to and you really need to cycle that particular card, or otherwise you have a lot of backup plans in order to do so when it comes to Agumon X, because there's no protection for you whatsoever. It doesn't provide any inheritable, so therefore that's why I play it like that. Anyways, whether you choose to move up or not or whatever, Digivolving into your BT13 Geo Gray is the most ideal. Immediately in the early stages of the game, you can immediately just search your security stack and play your Marcus for free. And the ideal one you're always trying to go for is the 5-cost one, because it costs a lot of memory. You never ever really want to be paying memory to play any of your Marcuses, just because of how expensive they are and the whole stack. And while you're building your stack, you're always playing them for free anyways. Don't pay the memory unless you really have no other play. Anyways, then with Geogreymon, you get to recover one and do all that kind of crazy stuff. Now, when this Marcus is on play, if your opponent has like a lower DP Digimon, you can immediately suspend it to minus 3000 DP. And because you do have an Agumon or Geogray, you immediately gain that memory back as well. Is ultra super value, like I mentioned before. Just really, really good and memory efficient. It pays off as you continue to build your stack. Digivolve into your BT13 Rise Gray. That's what the one you always want to be seeing as most, because it again does the same thing. It immediately lets you play a Marcus for free from your hand. And this is the timing when all your Marcuses become floating on the board because of its secondary and inheritable effects moving forward. And by doing so, you never have to be worried that your Marcus get deleted, because they'll always go back to the top of your security. If you have more Marcuses in your hand, then you can Digivolve into Rise Greymon just with 1 cost to play even more Marcuses. Again, more Marcuses you see, the more value it is for you. So it doesn't really matter. You don't always see it in particular, but again, setting up Marcuses is really where you want to be. And then eventually you're going to start your turn at 3 memory. And then once you're ready to go, you basically just at the start of your turn, you pay the 1 memory to move this Marcus up right here. Now, one of the cool things is if you have this Agumon present, at the start of the main phase, you will have gained that memory. And then with the Marcus, you pay that 1 memory, which is how I mentioned earlier. This essentially becomes a free combo, free Marcus right on the board, just like that. So this Agumon is kind of nice to have to stay on the board sometimes, especially when you come out from raising and whatnot. Anyways, the whole idea is just very similar to the BT12 combo. You swing with this Marcus into your opponent's security, and ideally, but because it's suspended, you get to Digivolve into your ShineGray right here, and then draw for Digivolving, and for every Tamer you have, minus 3000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you basically minus, here, if you have 2 Marcuses, you minus 6k to your opponent's security, and this Marcus also gains extra 3000, meaning this Marcus is a 6k beater, punching in for 2 checks at a minus 6k security. Effectively, your Marcus is already at 12k, just like that. So its survival rate is actually just super high, unless you run into a big level 6 Mega or level 7 and whatnot. Now, because one of your Tamers are suspended, you get to delete one of your opponent's Digimon that's 3000 DP or less. You get to delete another one that's 3000 DP or less as well. If you ever have these Agumons or a different Geogreymon in particular, you get to minus some DP and draw cards at the same time, which is always going to be a value for you right there. Therefore, once you swing that in, and then you can immediately use your ShineGray to swing in here as well, and then draw a card with Koromon to sort of resolve all the rest of the effects, just like that. In a different situation and circumstance, you might be Digivolving into this ShineGray instead. And by Digivolving into this ShineGray, you can make one of your other Marcus Daemons into a 3k blocker, so this one can also attack. then by doing so, you can combo and synergize with more punches at your opponents. And then with this one being suspended, eventually you get to also minus 6k to your opponent's Digimon because of its secondary effect, which is really, really nice right there. If you want to play defensive, go ahead. Have it sit there and become a blocker instead if you need to. And ever in any time situation, if your Marcuses are in threat, you always have that Rise Great Inheritable right here, because if it gets deleted, you get to recover one back to the top just like that. And your opponent's going to have to deal with it, and they're going to have to see it eventually at some point. Then again, it's just value free for you all over again. So both ShineGreys are just that good, and it's always that nice to see. Once all these Marcuses have done their punching, this is when you can debate whether to go into your burst mode or not. Now, the ideal way is you just want to Digivolve it for 0, and then you return one of this Marcus back to your hand. Either or is fine, and then you play it back immediately for free, and it gets Rush. So then you swing, because you suspended Marcus, this will minus 3k to one of your opponent's Digimon. Last effect of ShineGreymon Burst Mode will trash your opponent's security, and oftentimes you're going to have to be in lethal range, and then that basically just swings for game. Just like that. Super crazy. Like, really, really ultra value. If any situation, you may sometimes be earlier at a Geo Gray stage, and you only had, like, say, this Marcus in particular, you know, coming out like that, which is totally fine. Whatever memory you're at, you know, you just pay 1 to go here. You can Marcus here, swing with it, and then Digivolve into Rise Gray that way, and then play another Marcus for free just like that, and then finish the checks. This Marcus may be still in threat, but it doesn't have like the 6k and minus 3k to your opponent's security, unlike the Shine Gray combo, which is more ideal. But if this ever gets in threat again, don't worry, because then you just put it in the security there, and then it survives, it's fine. Then you can finish off by passing your opponent to 3 to go into this Shine Gray in particular, you know, or whichever or you see suit fit. Now, again, in another situation, let's just say you already had the Shine Gray on board in the beginning, and you're like this, and you say you start your turn at 3 memory or whatever. It can be 1, anything. You push out this Marcus right here. You can swing with this Marcus, and then you can even just Digivolve into the burst mode for free. That's just how insane it really is. You know, then if you have the other Marcus, you can return it back to your hand, play it as well, you know, do all the combos and shenanigans and whatever you need to. You know, sequencing comes in really here, really important, because let's just say you had this Shine Gray, you know, at the start of your main phase, you move this one up, and then you pay the 1 to move this one up and whatnot. You know, you could swing with this one and then swing with this one, Digivolving it here for free, and then return this one, play this one back out, and then check goes through, and then you can also suspend this one to minus 3000 DP if you need to, but otherwise you actually want to be using it to rush and swing like that, you know, suspended, trash your opponent's security and whatnot, 12k rush just like there, and then here you can finish the game, and this ShineGreymon Burst Mode stays on the board just like that. Again, really, really powerful, insane combos. You guys can see how strong the new Shine Gray combos really are, and how powerful it is, how fun it is, and I know you guys who are fans of the Digimon are super happy right now, and so am I, because just how cool and how strong this deck really is. That'll wrap up for the deck profile for today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. Once again, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for more BT13 content. If you guys just can't wait and want to see early deck lists and first drafts, then once again, definitely join the Avault Club. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is Avault, signing out.